Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Boone Builds for another installment of AFOL Spotlight Live. We are with a great new friend of mine. This is Ben Rollman. He's got some awesome stuff to show us, and we're going to have some fun talking about what it's like to have this hair and these glasses and this beard as an AFOL. And it's all coming right here on AFOL Spotlight Live.
Let's go! Climb aboard this proverbial Winnebago. We're talking about the awesome fans of Lego. So build your mock and shift it into drive. It's time for AFOL Spotlight Live.
Ben, how are you?
I'm doing well, sir. How are you doing?
Good. It's such a pleasure to have you on here.
Likewise, thanks for having me.
Yeah, no problem. I reached out to a mutual friend of ours just like a couple of days ago, and she recommended you. So and then I went cyber stalking you, and I see that you built some pretty amazing stuff. And then we got on for a test call yesterday, as I typically do on Tuesdays or Wednesdays with my guests. And I felt great about it. We really hit it off. So I'm glad to have a new friend, Ben. And how are you?
I'm hanging in there. I'm doing well. I'm enjoying, this sounds really weird, but I'm enjoying kind of the time spent in my house working from home because I can kind of sneak away and do some Lego stuff while I'm here. So yeah, it's been okay. It's been all right.
Well, that's good. I love the backdrop you got there. Voltron is probably in my top, I'd say Voltron is in my top 5 Lego sets of all time. And absolutely love, the Saturn V that you got back there, and so lots of fun. Cool. Good stuff. I just want to say hi to some folks in the chat. We've got Aquamike TV. Cody Otley is here. Moto, thank you so much. One of our lovely moderators. Jeff McElwee, Rick Brickham. Holly makes stuff up. Holly, I may be wrong about this, but I'm sorry, I keep saying Holly. It's Molly. Molly makes stuff up. I feel like Molly started out with the channel Molly Makes Stuff and then changed it to Molly Makes Stuff Up. I could be wrong about that. Maybe I imagined it, but it's awesome. Thank you for being here, Molly. Molly, one of the local folks here. We love seeing the stuff that you create. Glenn Copeland is here. Brian Anderson, Red Brick, Gabe Collins, Oliver O, Lego Joe. Thank you all so much for being here. We're going to have an awesome time tonight. I am talking to Ben Rollman from Ben's Brick Designs. I just want to say quickly that now and until the foreseeable future, AFOL Spotlight Live is brought to you by the Magic School Bus, my current ideas project at ideas.lego.com, or is it legoideas.com? I don't know, but you can find it. I'm about to drop a link in the chat. It is to my cool, awesome vanity URL there, b00ne.com/magic school bus. And hopefully, whether you are watching from YouTube or Facebook, you will be able to click that link if you choose and go support that. Last Thursday, for those of us who weren't with us, Ben, last Thursday I was with a few friends who have had some experience with projects on ideas. Yeah. And 1 week ago, we were able to push my project over the 1,000 supporter mark. And we are now sitting at 1585. So in the last week,
congratulations.
We've got another 585. So it would be lovely to see. And I'm sorry to take so much of our time at the beginning of the stream to talk about this, but I just have to look directly at everyone out there watching. And the only way we're gonna get to the 10,000 is if you and the other people who love this project share it with everyone you know who might also go support the project. It takes 2 to 3 minutes to set up an account if you don't already have one on Lego Ideas. And what I've said is that now, if every person who has already supported the project asked 3 people, and all 3 of those people asked 2.5 people, we'd already be done. So, all right. Thank you, Ben. Thanks for letting me do that. And I hope that everyone goes and does that at the end of the stream. I don't want them to do it now because I'd love to hear from you. So, Ben, tell me about how you got connected with the Lego fan community.
So Wow, the Lego fan community, I believe, was born out of just watching YouTube videos in general and watching the progression of people migrating from YouTube to Twitch to Discord servers, creating their own communities, being a part of smaller communities that kind of join together at conventions and in person and their own lugs, realizing what like recognized fans of the media are, that kind of thing. And I got involved myself by figuring that I had a lot to offer as far as like design and the mocks that I built. And I was like, hey, I could do this too. And in starting my own stream up, I was able to kind of connect with a lot of other people. And so now there's groups that we kind of follow, and there's, 72-hour streams and charity fundraisers and things like that are really nice to be a part of. So it's just a matter of just kind of jumping in with both feet and, finding the people that are already there.
Yeah, awesome. And tell us about your history and love of Lego. Like, when did you get into Lego? When did you sort of make it your thing? You know what I mean?
Right. So like most the people out there that are into Lego now, I was into it as a kid. And I think most parents, and both of us being parents now, you start by buying them Lego. And, back in my day, it was robotics and Capsella and Lincoln Logs and Erector sets and all this kind of stuff. And whatever stuck, that's kind of what the kid would grow up with or would grow up loving. So I just kind of stuck with Lego. I had a dark age, like most people do, when I was in high school. And it was mostly because I didn't feel like there was something better out there. Like I wasn't focusing on cars or girls or boys or whatever. It was a price thing, and it was a sort of a time thing. Like there was a lot of extracurricular activities that were taking my time, so I wasn't able to focus on it as much as I wanted to. But I got back into it as an adult. Right as Star Wars hit, I got back into it and just never really looked back.
Now, when Claire told me about you, one of the first things she said was, he builds Star Wars and he builds architecture. Is that a fair generalization of what you're into?
So I primarily build just kind of whatever really comes up. We in our lug, in the text lug group, we challenge each other every month. We get seed parts. Like this coming month, these are the seed parts. So we get skeletons and pumpkins. Before that, we had like 2x4 lavender bricks and some 1x1 sparkly purple bricks. Challenge yourself to build something. No theme, just come up with something. So every month or so, we're trying to challenge ourselves to come up with something new. But I always have my love of Star Wars. I'm a huge Star Wars fan. Everything in my house is Star Wars related or Lego related. So I primarily collect Star Wars. I rarely collect other sets unless it's an idea set. And then I build Star Wars. I build and design Star Wars Microfighters. The architecture part of it came in because a few years ago, I built a University of Texas clock tower with a friend of mine, and we used it as a recruitment tool for a university lug at the time. And it caught on. It was really, people seemed to like it. So I was like, well, this isn't that difficult to do. I mean, I understand it's a challenge to do it at scale, but it was mostly hollow. It was just a building full of windows. It's pretty simple. So we got it done in a few months. Later on, I was like, well, I need to top that. I want to be able to do something, since I'm in Austin, Texas related, but what hasn't been done. So I was looking up things that have been built in architecture in Texas, and nobody had really done the Capitol. So I did the Capitol. And I've got a picture of the Capitol. If you'd like to, I could show it real quick.
Absolutely. Why people come to see, our faces are secondary to the stuff we build. So
I've got, let's see if I can do this and then that. If you can see that. Select window or screen, allow. Sorry, I'm new to this. Allow. All right.
Hey, there we go.
All right. So this is the Capitol.
I see like one itty bitty little something.
Okay.
Maybe try a different
I'll try something else. Let me get out of this. stop screen, screen share, share screen. Oh, there we go. Let's try that. Okay, now this should be better.
Hey, there we go. Oh my goodness,
right.
look at that. Look at that.
So this is never really having to, other than the UT tower that I did, I've never really done a architecture thing other than a couple times I've done a few modulars that weren't, out of the box modulars. So this was kind of a mathematic problem. It was a logistic problem. It was a color problem because the Capitol itself is this weird granite color. It's called sunset pink granite, which is this odd pink, orange, gray. It changes in the sunlight. Sometimes it looks tan, sometimes it looks white. And I'll stop screen sharing now.
What's the maybe we should see the actual building. Can I show people the actual building?
Yeah, for sure. I'll go ahead and stop mine. Or I can just pull it up too.
I have it here. I'll just do this real quick. So is this it? Is that the building?
Yeah, so that's the building. The biggest problem that I had was, first of all, matching the color. There's obviously a lot of parts that you could use. It was, we could have used medium nougat. We could have gone a little darker. But in the end, tan offered more parts to be used and in cheaper, large quantities, because this ended up being about 65,000 pieces. And I had help from donations from our user group, and I had people help me build it. Took about a year, a year or so to design it in studio.
Wow.
And then it was a matter of just getting the parts, making sure that we could get them from Lego. And then a couple months to build. Like, we really cranked down on it to get it built. I had people over at my house, building walls, putting in windows. So architecture, like, I'm not really into architecture. I've done like 2 really big things. And the rest of it is just, odds and ends here and there, a lot of Star Wars stuff. But now I'm working on another really big build, but it's not architecture. So it's just another, I either go this big or, that big.
Awesome. Well, we've dipped our toe into show and tell. Can I play the reel and then we'll dive full in?
Sure.
Here it is, everybody. It's show and tell, and I'm making up the theme song with Ben's Brick Designs. Yeah. All right. I've got 3 segments, and one of them has a theme song, and the other 2 don't. So I have to make up a theme song every week.
Make sure to copyright those before.
Sometimes they too. Yeah. Yeah. Cool. So what do you got there, man? You got something you're going to bring over? Or you got some little stuff first?
Let's do little stuff. I'm going to show. This was my. I know you pimped your idea set at the beginning. This was my failed idea set. I got about 300 votes off this. This is my barn owl, and I want to make sure that I pick it up right. So this is my barn owl.
Oh, rad.
And so this was like the birds set that they did a while back. The wings are very kind of underdone, but you can see the top with the Ninjago swords for the feathers. So I listed this on Ideas about a year ago. And there were a lot of people who saw it at the convention and said that it was really cool and they would like to see it for real. So I was like, well, I'll take a chance. It got submitted and approved pretty quick. And then absolutely nothing after that, because I'm a terrible marketer. I'm a terrible PR person. So like the photos I took weren't great, and I didn't have like a video to go with it. So lesson learned. Next time I do it, I know kind of what to do. But that's, and I keep it around, and I'll take it with all, conventions that we'll be able to go to later. It just seems to be a good non-spaceship building, eye-catching kind of thing. So I think people enjoy it.
Right. And you just made me think. It is a non-spaceship, but how cool would it be to build a giant spaceship in the shape of an owl?
It would be pretty cool.
I don't know if I've seen that before. Sorry. Tangent.
Write it down for later.
Yeah. I shouldn't have said it out loud on the stream. No, I'm just kidding. Let's see. Do I have anything else to say about that? We can go on. I was going to say something about ideas. I was going to say one more thing about ideas. If anyone's watching and you're thinking about submitting a project to Ideas in the future, one thing that's very important to know is that the main image, and probably all of the images that you submit at the very beginning, when you're first submitting your project, but the main image is the most important. And then that verbiage, the copy that you write to put in the explanation, when you're first submitting, that is stuff that you cannot change. And I think the one that has the biggest impact of all the things you can't change about your project as you move on. You can continue to add updates. You can always update it. But I think the biggest impact is that main image that people see anywhere it is shared online. They see it if it makes it to the front page of ideas. It is the first image that pops up when people follow the link to go to your ideas project. And you cannot change that after you have submitted your idea. So my biggest recommendation, and I haven't had a successful ideas yet project, but I'm hopeful. And so my biggest recommendation to everyone is make sure that image, that one main image that you want to represent your entire project, is ready before you submit it at all, because that's what everyone's going to see. That's going to be everyone's first impression of your project.
Right.
All right, Ben.
Yes.
You're the man. It's your show.
So the primary thing that I have been working on, and what my channel is mostly about, is I design and build microfighters for Star Wars that haven't been picked up by Lego because they are lesser known, Legends ships, extended universe for us old-timey Star Wars fans, or just stuff that was seen in the movies that didn't get picked up. And we're on, I think, 5 Millennium Falcons now, microfighters. So there's a lot that could be done, but they just won't do it. And I've got a few examples of some that probably could be done that just never were. This is one of the first ones that I did. Now I started doing these because I thought the very first thing I wanted to do was get all the San Diego and New York Comic-Con exclusives, but I didn't want to pay $200 for the tin for the Slave One. And I already had a Boba Fett figure. May not have been the right one, but I had a Boba Fett figure. So I was like, well, I'll just source the parts from Bricklink, build it myself. I'll just source the parts for the prototype microfighter. This wasn't actually ever called a microfighter, but this is where I got into it. I just started doing this. And then I was like, well, maybe I could adjust some of them to do different models that haven't been done. So what I did was, the first one I did was a Republic Y-Wing that is basically based off, you can tell the front end's a little similar to the actual set. So when I started doing these, I picked some ships that I thought would look really good as microfighters, and I did those.
That's awesome.
Here's another early one that I did, which was a V-Wing. And the V-Wing is basically the front is very X-Wing like. So if you have the X-Wing pieces, you can very easily transition to this. So I've got about 200 or so designs already done.
Wow.
And this is kind of what, go ahead.
You designed them digitally first?
Yeah. So I designed them in Studio first, and I've got a list of them on like a Google Drive. If I've got directions for them, I'll put them up on Rebrickable. But I've got like some really obscure ships. And that's why I started my channel, because I was like, well, I could just do this every couple days. I could design something when I get the parts in, I could build it. I mean, hundreds and hundreds of ships. I've got built-in longevity on a channel. So that's kind of why I did it.
Wow. How long have you been doing that? How long have you been doing that on the channel?
About a year and 5 months, 6 months. So, I mean, I started off by just, hour and a half of a stream, me designing in studio, and that's it. And I could probably get a set designed within the hour and a half that I'm streaming. So it's, and then if I get parts in, I'll sit there and I'll kind of build a couple of them, or every once in a while, if I get a nice set, I'll build a Fiat or I'll build Voltron or something like that. But it's mostly the design and the other ones. So what I started doing later, this is the
awesome.
The Lucre Hulk assault or battleship, is I started making little stands for them that kind of gave an indication of what they are about. So these are the other CIS ships as part of that fleet. The Y-Wing is obviously, it's launching from a little Venator. So that's got it. So I've got about 20 or so that are sitting on these little stands. and I've got them all sitting over here. I had a Razor Crest, but I sent it to the YouTuber Star Wars Explains, and I saw that they were working on a Razor Crest, like they had bought the thing and they were streaming live while building it. I'm like, I'm just going to send him this. I was like, can I send this to you and you can build it on your stream? He's like, sure. So now I don't have my Razor Crest anymore, so I got to buy more parts for that. But I kept the Mando figure for it so I could put it back in. So yeah, that's basically what I'm all about right now is just designing these. And there's 4 or 5 different people who are doing this alongside. We're doing this alongside each other. And I feel like we were the ones who missed the original Brothers Brick 2014 surge of like they first came out and everyone went, well, I could do that too, and let's design a bunch of stuff. So I'm kind of playing catch up on this now.
Yeah. Well, cool. I love that. How many have you built physically?
I have built 3, 6, 9, 12, 15. I built 15.
That's awesome. I'm going to send you a message later because I would love to create, and maybe I could just cut a piece of this live stream and post it, but I think it might be worth a little bit of extra time to just like create a piece. I would love to create a piece highlighting all of your Microfighters to share on my channel and then direct people to how to find you.
I'm totally for that.
We can talk about that. I think it'd be worth doing. Cool. Awesome. What, you want to, we're going to take a look at some pictures, or you got other physical things there?
I've got one other thing. And do you want to go into other people's designs yet? Do you have a graphic or a song or anything for that?
Let's do you've got the one big thing you're going to bring over, right?
Oh yeah. Let me try to do that. If you want to give me just a second.
Yep.
Now everybody, I'm going to move this back.
I'll talk to people in the chat for a second. Aqua Mike earlier said, where's the Baby Yoda boon? And Baby Yoda's, roaming around here somewhere.
The actual figure.
Here he is. I've gotten a lot of response on my Baby Yoda video where I review him, but it's really not a review. It's sort of a comical exploration of all of the special hidden features behind the Baby Yoda. I'd love to invite you to take a look at that on my channel if you haven't already seen it. And I'm giving away this Baby Yoda. It's been assembled already, but I have the original box and I have the instructions. And I'm gonna give it away probably this weekend. I think I made that announcement video. Oh no, I'm sorry. Yeah, it might be. It'll probably be Saturday. Oh yeah, and Jeff McElwee. I don't know what this comes from, but Jeff McElwee says his name is Kevin.
The child's name is Kevin.
Yeah. Is that? I don't know where that joke comes from, but it's hilarious.
No idea.
He looks like a Kevin. All right, here we go.
So along the lines of giant things, this is, and I'm not going to be able to get it all in, but I'll cruise it by. This is my Ship Timber build.
Woo!
And it is a Vic Viper. I'm not going to be able to get it all in. Yes. A Vic Viper, 100 studs long. Not really swooshable, but I can pick it up.
Yeah!
There's the engine block back there.
That looks
it's done in Futron style because that's my favorite genre, actually, of space is Futron. That's kind of what I grew up with.
Hey,
I'm not going to...
I'd love to use this as the thumbnail. Can you kind of like frame that? I mean, maybe even stand up a little bit or. Oh, yeah. No. There you go. 1, 2, 3. Big smile. Yes. That's awesome. That's awesome. I love it.
So yeah, the underside is criminally underdone. So I fell prey to the Star Wars design of not doing anything underside of the ship, but the top is fun greebling. And it's a little washed out because it's white, but I'm going to go put it back down because my arms are getting tired.
Yeah, that's great.
But this is large to small. This is kind of the only things that I do.
And Fazoom says, Futuron in all capital letters. Yes, Futuron. We know it. We love it. It's very, very white and transparent dark blue. It also gave us the first monorail, and I'm not on the screen. Oh, here I am. I'm back. I went to the first hour I went to the first hour of the AFOL day at the Lego house today, virtually. I had to get up at 4:30 a.m. my time, and I went to the first hour. Maybe I might have been there for 90 minutes, and I couldn't stay awake, so I ended up having to go to bed. I heard that from multiple people, I heard that the last session was the most enjoyable session. But I was glad to see in the comments that I could feel comfortable going back to bed knowing that monorail would continue to be represented in the comments. I know that they're not going to answer questions about that. I love monorail. I love monorail. I sort of
let me go get my bucket of track and hold it up and just shake it angrily like an old man.
Yeah,
monorail.
Yeah. I like to think that I thought monorail was cool before monorail was cool, or at least between monorail being cool and monorail being cool again. But anyway, okay. What do you think? Should we do a cool stuff we found online?
Sure.
All right. This is it, everybody.
Cool stuff we found online.
There it is. All right. I'm going to pull up a thing that I've found here. What do you got?
I've got a user that I want to pimp because I think they're awesome, but also I've got a physical build of somebody's design that I'd like to show off.
Awesome.
So if you want to go first, I will pull all that up.
Yeah, sounds good. Okay, I'll share my screen again. This is another ideas project. I don't think I've shared this. I've done enough episodes of AFOL Spotlight Live now that I may have to apologize if I've forgotten that I've already shown this, but I don't think I have. This is a little project called the Magic Castle. It has a mere 415 supporters so far and has 345 days left. And it's not just a castle, it is a playground. And I just think this thing is precious. I love the colors that they use. I like that one of the slides uses slide elements. The other slide is built from plates and hinges and panels and tiles. They've got hopscotch. They've got a balance beam. They've got a seesaw. If you look into the inside, there's a swing. If we look into the inside of the thing here, there's just other fun things to do with ship's wheel and what is that? A telescope. And there's, the attention to detail, such as there's a little birdhouse in the middle there. This really looks to me like a fun playground that could actually exist in the real world. And so this is one that I've been happy about lately. And I'm just afraid, based on the number of supporters that it has so far, that it just might not make it. But I think it's great, and I think everyone should go check it out. Another person that I have found recently is, oh no, it's hold on, I'm gonna pull it up here. Oh, that's a thing that I don't want everyone to see. Who is? Yeah, okay, here we go. Fabufan MKE. And this is a guy who was recommended to me by, how do I find it? Oh, I don't know where. Fabufan MKE. So this is Tricky Bricks, and I learned about Fabufan from Tricky Bricks. And I'm wondering if we're going to find it. Well, I should have done more homework to begin with, because now I'm not. It's probably Flickr. Let me just look. Flickr.com. Flickr.com. It's Flickr.com. Fabufan MKE. Nope. Well, I don't know where this guy is, but I'll find him before the next stream. And I'm sorry I wasted everyone's time by talking about things that I could not find on the fly. But Moto certainly gives his recommendation, and Rob Ketcherside here representing Tricky Lug. Yeah, we love Tricky Lug. Do you know Flynn and Richard from? They were made popular by Lego Masters, but they
I
are
know of them, and I watch their videos every once in a while. Yeah,
cool.
they're really
Yeah,
into the modding and stuff too, the lighting and the what you can do to a brick other than just put it together.
Yeah, they're really good at that stuff. All right, what do you got for us, Ben?
So the first thing I got is I'm going to stick with the Microfighter theme to start. This was when I was first starting in researching what other people had done because I didn't feel comfortable doing my own designs. I was just aping other people's and reverse engineering them off of pictures and spending way too much time doing that rather than just asking them, hey, do you have instructions or a file or something that I could make my life easier? So this was Reichfeld on Flickr. If you look up RYKFIELD, RYK Field, this is his Jabba sail barge, and it's not really a microfighter because it's almost 200 pieces, but it's very chibi, super deformed, very cute. So this is one of the only ones that I've built so far that is not my design, but I really liked it. So I was like, this one has to be one of the first ones.
Awesome.
And you can find him on Flickr, and his stuff is very good. And
Can you spell the name again?
It's RYK Field, Reichfield.
Man, Flickr is like failing tonight. RYKF.
Here, I can give you in the private chat, I can give you a link.
Cool.
So that's his Flickr site. He's a very decent builder. Really good stuff. Very cognizant of like how things fit together and making it so it's very seamless. Really into the facades of buildings, and he does a lot of, just really good work. And I've been a fan of his for a while.
Ooh, I love this.
Yeah. And so if you go a little farther down, there's these little bubble ships that he's done that have like little aliens and stuff, little UFOs. And those are a lot of fun. I like those. Yeah, those guys are very clever.
Oh my goodness, that's precious.
Yeah, and they're super simple. I mean, it's one of those where, why didn't I think of doing something like that? It's just really easy to do, and he does it really well.
Oh, this is cool. Look at this. That's rad.
Yeah.
Did he make up this little like mystery machine motorcycle and sidecar?
I would hope so. I hope somebody doesn't plop that on there without his knowing about it, but it's very cool looking.
That's awesome.
There's a person in our lug who loves purple almost that much. So I'm wondering if they're fighting it out on Bricklink for buying all the purple in the world.
Look at this. Mystery Machine train, Mystery Machine monster truck, and
it's either a Winnebago or a airplane tram.
Yeah. Oh, this is beautiful. And itty bitty ones on top of the train cars. That's amazing. Love it. Love it. Cool. Oh, here's even more. A bunch of Star Wars Mystery Machine stuff. Wow. That's awesome. Cool.
All right.
So go find Reichfield. RYKFIELD.
So there's another guy that I follow. His name is The Trending Brick, and you've probably seen his stuff. He's on Instagram, among other places, but I think he also frequents some Discords, some AFOL pages on Facebook, that kind of thing. He does a lot of microfighters as well, but he also does this thing he does a squad. So he's got 4 figures, and he's just got them on these little discs. And the reason I follow him is his photography is always really clean. Like his zero seam backgrounds, his infinity backgrounds are always really good.
Oh yeah.
He's really got a nice group of shiny pieces together. The presentation's fantastic. And I hate his guts for being so good at designing microfighters. I'm like, dude, stop. I get it. So my claim to fame is just finding the most obscure things to do and then designing them that way, and let him do that really well done B-wing, right? Like pick a ship that's already been done to death, do it really well, So, and again, Trending Brick, that's him. And then the last one is somebody that I just ran into on a Discord, and his name's Lamborghini Waffle Sauce, which I think is the best username ever. But also his Instagram presentation is great because he does these triptychs across the page. So each one is a picture that's a part of a scene. And again, his builds are like these funky, chubby, MIDI scale builds, but they're really greebled, and it's so pleasing to look at. It's like looking at a really nice hearty salad or something, just the big thick pieces in there.
All right, where do we find
really
this?
So I can give you another link for that. He's on Instagram at Lamborghini Waffle Sauce, but I'll put that in the thing. And again, he was one of these where I found just we joined somebody's Discord who had a YouTube channel, who we went and found that, and she cultivated her Discord really well. And there's a lot of people on it, a lot of community showing their mocks, sharing news, that kind of stuff. But every time somebody posts something, he's like, oh, that reminds me of this thing that I built. And the thing he built is, of course, 10 times better than everybody else's. But it's really great. Like, I really like his stuff.
Is he like feeding a baby porg there? What's he doing?
I think so. I think he's encapsulating a really awful Christmas card.
Yes. Awesome.
And feeding a baby porg.
Man.
Or an adult porg. I don't know.
I need to do that.
There you go. You need the scarf, and you need that like off camera winsome look. You're just like, oh,
yeah. Everyone, I'm about to scroll down on this page, and you are in for a treat. Look at this stuff.
Yeah. This
one is amazing. Oh, why are you trying to bother me with this, Instagram? I can't click on a picture without being logged in. That's lame. Okay, yeah. Let me pull over my Instagram. We'll do just a quick plug for Ben's Instagram. Ben's Bricks Designs is where you can find. Oh, there's the
ship.
Does this have a name?
I've called it the Vic Viper class light Corvette.
Okay.
It doesn't really have a name. We can give it one in the chat. The last giant.
Well, we just lost Ben, and I'm not sure why we lost Ben, but we're gonna go ahead and check out. There he is. Here he's back.
Sorry, I hit the back button on the wrong tab. So yeah, the last giant Futron ship that I did, and I think I may have a picture of it somewhere, but I just called it Deep Space. I was watching Deep Space Nine at the time, so I was like, Deep Space Sentinel. That's it,
Yeah,
his stuff is amazing. And again, it's one of these designers that it's so small and so well thought out and so kind of well put together that I don't like where I am as a human being with my Lego skills. When I look at his stuff, I'm like, dang it, flip the table.
This is really cool. I mean, I can look at this and tell about how big it is, but the way he uses the details gives it the impression that it's actually much larger than it is.
Yeah. And he also loves just sticking a background on it and doing some nice photography and some photoshopping with it. I mean, I almost feel like I want to do some stuff with my Microfighters and just put some like old school box art behind it. But I feel like that would be kind of pedestrian considering what people are doing out there now.
Right. Oh, look at this.
Yeah, that classic space. Mwah.
That's rad.
So yeah, good building.
All right. So go check out Lamborghini Waffle Sauce. For a second, I thought it was Lamborghini in waffle sauce, but it's just Lamborghini waffle sauce. Cool. Well, that's pretty rad. Let's see. Any other cool stuff you found online there, Ben?
I mean, I could go for days on people that I just follow, but that's kind of that's what percolates up to the top. It's usually similar-minded builders, and I just kind of follow along with some of those people. And
awesome.
That's about it.
And let's talk a little bit about your YouTube channel. What could people expect if they want to follow the link in the description and head over to your YouTube channel?
So expect to listen to me kind of berate some software for a little bit and get confused about why the mouse isn't picking up that piece and moving it over where I want it to. Every other week or every other couple weeks, I will have my fiance on with me, and we'll do a tag team kind of thing where she will build something because she does not like building Lego. She doesn't mind my hobby. She loves that I'm doing it. But she is not a Lego person. So I will get her to build something, and then I will in turn watch one of her Canadian teen dramas and talk about it on the stream. So that's the trade-off, is like she does a thing that I like to do. I do a thing that she likes to do. So that's come up every once in a while. If I get a nice set, I did the Razor Crest recently. I try to get a set early enough on so it's something people might enjoy that don't have yet. I'll build that on the stream. I also am starting to do, and this is kind of new, I've been trying to do these little quick builds where it's just a couple minutes of me putting one of the Microfighters together and then giving a little backstory about its lore in the Star Wars universe. So a little bit of like where it was built in universe kind of thing. And then talk about the actual Lego set itself that came out of it, if there is one. If there's not, we just talk about the ship. So I'm trying to do that, get a little more diverse content in there.
Awesome. Well, I love it. It's great. Cool. So you can find the link to Ben's Instagram and his YouTube channel in the description of this video. And that's great. Let's see. I should say that I'm interested in that concept of, just small designs that are approachable, for people. And I have been publishing, I'd say 3 to 5 videos for the last 3 or 4 weeks. And before that, I was publishing very sparingly. I was publishing a lot during, the time that Lego Masters was airing, because I just wanted to get stuff out there. I've had seasons on my channel where I publish every day for a month, or years ago I published every day for like 107 days all the way through, like from the end of a spring to the beginning of a fall and all the way through the summer. And it's been a long time since I've been able to publish at that frequency. But this channel is called Boone Builds, and one of the ways I get bogged down is that when I come up with ideas, my ideas are so big that I don't do a good job of documenting those ideas, or at least I sort of they're too big for me to consider viable content for the YouTube channel. So I'm just trying to think about some different ways that I can release stuff about things I've built more regularly. And a couple ideas I have is, people like Rich Boy J. He does a really good job of conceiving a very large build and documenting it in chunks. So it's a little bit done on a very large build every week, and he's able to publish a new video giving an update on that every week. So I have an idea about something I might do over here. But then, this year, man, Tiago, have you heard of Tiago Catarino?
I've heard the name, yeah.
Yeah, so he left Lego Product Design and started a YouTube channel. And he started his YouTube channel, I want to say, in December. And I think he started publishing daily on January 1st. And he just a few weeks ago passed 100,000 subscribers. Yep. And it's just because of that consistent, accessible, it's cool stuff that looks good on camera. He can build it in just a few minutes. He uses a lot of pieces that a lot of people have access to readily. So I'm thinking about those two things, and I want to do more of that in the future here on Boone Builds, and so I look forward to maybe talking with you more about that in the future, and we can kind of keep up with each other's progress on that type of content. But I appreciate it. I don't do Star Wars Microfighters. I got you covered. You've got them covered. I'll do some other weird stuff. I'll do miniature characters from Pee-wee's Playhouse.
There you go. So, and that was one of the things that, like, when I kind of slid backwards into what do I want to do now? Like, my big project is like, well, I don't want to like just buy and build sets. I want to like constantly build my own things. And it's like the Microfighters are a good little outlet that kind of keep the juice going. But then you have your big project, or you've got a couple side projects. One of the things that I wanted to do, and I'm gonna offer this freely to anybody who wants it because I'm never going to be able to do it. But I always thought that Phineas and Ferb would be a great idea set or a great line for Lego. They just came out with a movie that is on Netflix. It's a Disney property. It's 104 Days of Summer Vacation where they build a lot of stuff. And it's just like, it just reeks of things that you can build with Lego, having neat little figures for the family, all the stuff that they build. And I had sketched some stuff out, but I was like, I'm never going to get to this. So stuff like that keeps my brain going. Is like, what can I build that hasn't been done? What could be an idea set? What could be pitched to somebody, And that was always the big one. It's not a huge property. It's not SpongeBob. It's not The Simpsons. But at the same time, a lot of people with kids, probably between your kid's age and my kid's age, probably know of Phineas and Ferb, Right. And at least for a while, they got a new movie coming out. The iron is kind of still hot. I don't know.
And you can watch them all on Disney Plus, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yes, and so
they're all available. Plus, it's got a rockin' theme song from Bowling for Soup. I mean, who doesn't love a good theme song?
What I'd say, based on searching Phineas and Ferb on ideas, I'd say that a well executed Phineas and Ferb ideas project could have a real shot. Because there's not a lot here. So
cool. You see the brickheads and the tri-state building from Doofenshmirtz. I mean, it's a start, but I mean, there's a lot you could. I'm just gonna say there's a lot.
Cool, awesome. Well, let's see. Somebody up here, Marvel Kid 25 said, "Are we doing Q&A?" We absolutely will do Q&A. Ben, do you think we can head on over to Q&A?
You betcha.
Let's do it. Here it is. AFOL Q&A. It is the AFOL Q&A with Boone and Ben. And I have to stop the thing. There we go. Okay. Thank you, Marvel Kid, for asking our very first question of Q&A. It was quite a segue into we're nearing the end of wait. Rick Brickham said can't do Disney for ideas. I don't think that's true as a blanket. Is that true? Is everything on Disney? All right. Hold on.
Yeah, I'm sure there's some TOS that says you can't submit it, but
wait. We're going to go to ideas.lego.com. It's okay for us every now and then to just take a little detour. Submit a product idea. Submit idea. Boo. If anyone wants to find me on Lego Life, I am Officer Robotic Spinach.
Yeah, I don't even know what mine is anymore. Commander Wolf something.
All right, let's see. If I submit a product idea, it's going to ask me if it's an intellectual process. Yes, it's based on Phineas and Ferb is approved. So it must not be like generally Disney. Let's see. If I do Mickey Mouse disapproved,
it is not.
It's already been done, and now it's own. It's Mickey and Friends is its own theme. Can we come up with something really obscure? How about a race to which mountain? Oh, I can't type. Nope, hasn't been approved or disapproved. I'm trying to think of
Black Cauldron.
Okay, Black Is it Cauldron?
Yeah.
Right spelling has not been approved or disapproved. But certainly some Disney, like if we do I bet Cinderella. Well, that's interesting. I'm sure any Disney IP that Lego is already producing is not going to be approved here. But Phineas and Ferb, there must be some. What else has come up? What else is new on Disney Plus? All right, it doesn't matter. We've got
Clone Wars Series 7.
We've got some other good questions to get to. Jeff McElwee with a $5 super chat. Thank you so much, Jeff. We appreciate that. It helps me keep going. Ben, have you built a mic? What? Have you built a Microfighter freighter of the Outrider?
I have not built one, but I do have a design for one.
Ooh.
And it's just adapted basically from the Millennium Falcon. And there's a couple other people who early on Eurobricks and Brick Brothers forums and stuff if you just put in a search engine, Outrider Microfighter, there's dozens. So
yeah, okay.
I haven't personally built one yet.
And if people want to build your designs, can they find them on Rebrickable or?
Yes. So I've got a Rebrickable site, and I've got about 70 or so designs up there already. Some of which are premium, but I call them freemium because I'm also including a link to the studio file. So if you've got Studio, you can download it and just do whatever you want. And it's $1 for the instructions, which I feel like it takes me $1 worth of time to make the instructions. So here's sort of a, thanks for what you're doing. Keep doing it. Here's $1, kind of thing.
Cool.
But yeah, I got a large amount already up, some of which I've built, some I haven't. So if you find one on there and you build it and it's not great, let me know. I'll make changes.
What are you called on Rebrickable?
Ben's Brick Designs.
Ben's Brick Designs. Should be able to find you, right?
Yeah.
If I do what? Ben's Brick Designs. I feel like
I can put it in the chat if you want.
Yeah, please do. I feel like none of the platforms I'm trying to search on stuff or even like finding anything.
Oops. That's not what. Ignore that.
We'll go back to Lamborghini waffle sauce.
Yeah, exactly.
I think it's funny as waffle sauce. I would think like waffle sauce is syrup, isn't it? But so waffle sauce sounds like such a hilarious.
It does. The sauce from a waffle or sauce for a waffle?
Oh yes, yeah. Here we go. In 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. So here we go. Mock Spy, Ben's Brick Designs. Oh, that's what I had wrong. It's all one word. Ben's Brick Designs, and here are Mock Spy, Ben's Brick Designs. I love this itty bitty Razor Crest, man.
It was a lot of fun. I'll tell you, that's one that like I hardly get any sales off this. It's just kind of to have out there. But the Razor Crest, a lot of people like that one.
Cool.
And I mean, it's just a huge name. So
yeah. All right. Love it. Let's go back to the questions. One of our, let's see here. This is Synthetic Mason.
Hey, Travis.
Says, is that Synthetic Mason?
He's a buddy of mine.
All right, cool. Welcome. Yeah. Have you thought about a micro Death Star?
I have, and I've done a version of it. Again, there's another. I don't have it on Rebrickable or anything yet, but I kind of aped a design from somebody just to have. I have a list of things that I've done and things that I've like reverse engineered off of people that I'm not going to put up for sale or anywhere else. I just want to have them for my own. And somebody built a really great Death Star, and it was basically just a ball with like a chair where a guy sat, and then a bunch of trans green stuff. So I mean, it wasn't, you put Moff Tarkin on there, and that was about it. It's really cool. So I mean, there's a handful of versions out there. I'd like to get one because I think it looks funky.
Awesome, love it. Aquamike TV said that's basically his question because he said, "Would you build a Lego Death Star Microfighter with Palpatine?"
Yeah. I'm saving Palpatine for 2 other Microfighters. There's like a Zeta class shuttle or Eta class shuttle that he's in Revenge of the Sith, and then there's also the Eclipse Superstar Destroyer. That's going to also have Palpatine in it.
Awesome. I don't get this, Lego-matic. What if someone did a Lego Ideas project on Lego Ideas? What does that mean?
Could build a web page?
You build Lego Ideas and put it on Lego Ideas? That'd be sort of like
it's Legoception?
Legoception, yeah. Aquamike TV asked me, when is mail time? And mail time is coming up. I only had like 2 things in my mailbox until yesterday, and in between yesterday and today I've gotten like 3 more things to show for mail time. So I should do one soon. I'll do one soon. I think I'm probably, at the rate I'm getting mail right now, I'm probably doing a mail time. I'm looking at doing a mail time about once a month. I could have done them more frequently a few months ago, but now that's what we're looking at. Molly Makes Stuff Up says, Ben's Brick Designs, have you applied for Lego Masters or considered it? Boone, do you ever have dreams / nightmares that you're still on the show? Ben has disappeared.
I've got something to show.
Okay.
So I have applied for Lego Masters. They approached me back in, I don't know, a while ago, last year sometime. They approached our whole lug. They found lugs, they found people who were doing stuff online, and they kind of blanket invited everybody to apply. And then you go through a screening process, and a buddy of mine on the lug, we tried out, we didn't make it, no harm, no foul. We got to a couple interview stages, and then we just kind of never heard. So, they're like, okay, cool. But I still have, and this is kind of funny, we made each other out of brick heads. So this is me.
Oh, awesome.
It's in my Dragon Ball Z shirt singing karaoke. And this is my friend Will. And we are actually on the stage of Lego Masters, and I built a little set.
Oh, cool. Hey, that's great.
So I'm going to take the guys off because they'll fall off, but I did the thing where you had the selection of parts in the background. So you can hear them like they're in the shelves and everything. So this was one of our addition pieces, is we built this and then sent that off. Yeah. So yes, I did audition for it, didn't make it because there's 1.5 million pasty white guys with beards that do Lego, and they probably didn't want the whole stage to look like that. So, they had to go with the people that were just exciting,
Yeah, I guess so. We knew. I have probably told this story once or twice, but when Mark and I got to casting finals, which was actually almost exactly a year ago, we were able to look around the room and see, like, okay, there's like the two, like there's 2 or 3 husband and wife couples. There's 2 or 3 like, ladies that are friends with each other. There's people from this demographic, people from that demographic, and we're like, okay, there's one other team that are like 2 white dudes with beards that are buddies. And I'm like, we don't have to beat everyone here. We only have to beat them.
That's great.
So, and the whole thing was so unpredictable. There was never a moment when we flew down 2 days before filming began. We still weren't sure we were going to be on the show. By that point, the cast was set, but nobody had ever said, congratulations, you're on the show. Like, I feel like they want to reserve the right to make changes until cameras are rolling. So
right.
Very unpredictable. Yeah. And the flip side of that is I remember hearing some guys on YouTube around that time, August, September of last year, some guys on YouTube that would make an announcement video like, they asked me to be on Lego Masters, and that's the way they would phrase it. They asked me to be on Lego Masters, and these are the reasons why I had to decline. But the at that point, and they had already published the videos, and I knew where we were in the stage, in the phases. At that point, all that had happened was that they had been approached by a casting person, a freelance casting person, encouraging them to apply, right? Yeah. And then, at that very earliest stage is when they send out like the first kind of piece of paper that tells you how long you're probably going to be there, how, what some of the basic rules, how you're not going to see your family for 8 weeks, yeah, and how you're going to get paid next to nothing to be there. And so I think at that point, a lot of people started saying, I was asked to be on Lego Masters and I had to decline. When what they didn't realize was that there were still about another 20 steps and thousands of people that were in the same boat as them.
Yeah.
That they had to get through to get to the show.
Right.
So it's a very strange process, and I never felt like we had any kind of confidence that we were going to be on. I mean, we were always kind of hopeful, but it was a wild ride. So I'm glad. Would you try again?
Would I try again if asked?
Yeah.
Maybe. I think the problem that I was running into is because my hobby, Lego, is a very solitary thing for me. I don't, and only because that's, I don't have like a best friend that I grew up with, both of us doing that, right?
Yeah.
The closest that I have is probably Will from the Lug. He's the person that I've known from the Lug the longest. There's a guy in chat, Glenn, who is also somebody that I've known from our Lug the longest, were I to try out again and he would be up for it, something like that. I thought about asking my son because he's, he was kind of into Lego for a while. And if he were to do something like this, I would love to have him along. But they were filming during marching band season and he's in marching band. And I'm like, I'm not going to do that to my kid. Given the time frame, maybe if it happened in spring or something, maybe. I've known a couple people, now you and a couple other people who've done reality shows where they didn't like the experience of being on the reality show. So I'm kind of like, I really wanted to, but everyone's like, you're probably better off. I'm like, why? So, I mean, it's hit or miss. I mean, if I had a good shot at it, it seems like it would have been fun, a little crazy, but I don't know.
Yeah, I really enjoyed it. I also recognize that I have the great benefit of being one of the most well portrayed individuals on the show. So I enjoyed making it and I enjoyed watching it. Some people had extreme highs and lows during making it and then had extreme highs and lows watching it over again. I don't feel like I found it all pretty enjoyable, but it was not that way for everyone. Ben Kahn said, Ben, is that Will from Austin, Texas that you were talking about? It
is. Yes, it's Will Heron.
Yeah, he makes the shirts. He comes up to our...
Yeah, he goes to all the conventions. He loves going up to Emerald City Con, Bricks by the Bay. He does a lot of the circuit. He's always got cool shirts. Everybody's got a Forever Sorting shirt or the Spaceman shirt with the ringer tee kind of thing. Not supposed to call them Lego shirts. They are brick design shirts.
Brick design.
But yeah, he's pretty well known, I guess, as the shirt guy.
Yeah.
And yes, he's from Austin.
Cool. Marvel Kid 25 says, Boone, what is your favorite song? That is so hard to answer. Ben, do you listen to music?
I do. I'm actually right in the middle of a Facebook group where we do a draft for albums that you would take on a desert island with you. So you have to narrow it down to 8, and then you have to hope somebody else doesn't pick your artist because then you can't take it. So I've been forced to listen to a lot of new music that people are suggesting.
Wow.
But yeah, so I mean, I do listen to a lot of music. I do karaoke. So I'm not steeped in it, but I have a favorite song or two.
Awesome. What's your favorite song?
I think my favorite song has got to be probably Flogging Molly, Drunken Lullabies.
Okay.
I'm a huge Flogging Molly fan, and that was the first or second song I've heard by them, and just kind of blew my mind open in terms of like, oh, it's not just cool music from here, from the United States or from New York and LA kind of thing. It's Scotland, it's Turkey, it's Syria, it's China. It's like it just kind of blew up, and that was kind of the genesis of that.
Awesome. I love it. Cool. That's great. I have a number of fans. I have a number of friends, not fans. I have a number of friends who are big fans of Flogging Molly. I I guess I could answer this question. What's your is that your go-to karaoke song? You said you like karaoke. Do you have a go-to karaoke song?
My go-to karaoke song is generally either forget the other. There's another Flogging Molly song that I sing. It's one of the two. I also will do Guns N' Roses. I'm totally blanking right now. Sweet Child of Mine.
Oh,
yes.
Oh, did you?
No, go ahead.
Did you enjoy the section in, I think it was Step Brothers with Will Ferrell and John C. Reilly and the family, like the really uptight family that's related to them? Or it's like the mom and the dad and the son and the daughter in the car, and they do like an a cappella Sweet Child of Mine in the car.
Yeah. Oh God, that was so uncomfortable. Yeah, I remember that. And it was not, but yeah. So, and it's funny because I have like 3 or 4 songs that I do. And if somebody else does a song of like that that I like doing and they murder it. Oh God, I get so bent out of shape.
Yeah. Well, you want to sing us a bar?
No, absolutely not.
Okay. All right. Well, I don't know. I figured it's worth asking.
I have no backing vocals. The acoustics in this is just terrible.
Okay. Okay. Well, you mentioned albums in that. That sounds like a fun game. The album Desert Island.
Yeah.
I can very easily name my top 2 albums. My favorite albums are Abbey Road by the Beatles and Breakfast in America by Supertramp. Those are 2 albums that I can just listen to in their entirety over and over and over again. Maybe Flood by They Might Be Giants would be up there too.
Oh.
That one hits at a really specific like time in my youth. So that's another one that I can just listen to the entire album over and over. But maybe song. This is a song that has been stuck in my head for a very long time. It's one of my go-to earworms, and it's been my recent go-to karaoke song is Somebody to Love by Queen. So I find that one really enjoyable. Thanks for asking, Marble Kid. It's always fun to talk about music. Questions. I'm looking for question marks in the chat. I
think there was what was your first set?
Oh yeah. I did see another good one.
Which goes on the Lego bingo card. What was your first set?
Yeah.
Did you glue stuff? How many pieces?
I'm not seeing what was your first set. What was it?
This guy. XK5 Android.
Oh,
I still have it.
That's rad. I remember that.
So this is when I was a kid. I had a lot of classic space, but because I was a child, I didn't know what to do with it, and I didn't keep it well. So it just kind of, Futuron, because I was able to buy it with my own money and hang on to it, that became sort of my, my first set. But this was one of the first things that I got as a kid. And it's so much so that when the Lego movie came out and they named the spaceman Benny, my kids looked over at me and were like, did they consult you before they made this movie? Because, they just knew I was a giant space nerd.
Ah, that's awesome. I love it. Are there people that call you Benny?
Sometimes I have a friend who shouts my name a la Benny and the Jets from Elton John.
Yes.
Every time we see each other, he just goes, Benny! Yeah.
I hope that was timed as nicely for the viewers as it was for me.
Yeah.
Did the timing seem good to you?
It sounded pretty good, yeah.
Awesome.
That wasn't planned. We weren't in the private chat going here on 3.
Aqua Mike says, is it time for the build challenge? Almost, not quite. I want to get through announcing the winners to the couple of video giveaways that I have. So I'll probably do that this coming weekend. I'll announce the winners for the Batman brick sketch and the Baby Yoda. And then I'll probably do a new challenge sometime. Usually I announce challenges on a Friday or Saturday and let it run to a Friday or Saturday. So we're probably still about a week away from getting a challenge announcement. Okay, thanks for asking. I thought this one was funny. Let me see if I can find it again. If you made a Lego Ideas set of past Lego Ideas sets as miniatures, which mini ideas sets would you build? I think this is actually kind of a funny idea. I don't know if they would. I don't know if they would do it.
I think I've seen this. I think I saw somebody do this.
Yeah.
Like I saw it on Instagram or something where they took all the old, like they did the storybook. They did a little Voltron. They did a little Yellow Submarine. They did like a bunch of them, but they were these little bitty, like the mini city vignette kind of things where they just did a bunch of like the ideas sets. I'm not 100% on that, but I'm pretty sure. But yes, if I did that, I would probably do Voltron.
Yeah.
Just because it's one of my favorite sets of all time.
And it would be great as a mini.
It would be so great. Yeah, it would be so perfect. Synthetic Mason in the chat, Travis, he would be great at that. He does like little bitty transformers, and he does it with like minimalist perfection. It's so great. He'd be brilliant at that. The Saturn V would be a shoe-in. I don't know. Maybe
it's possible. I don't know how they do it, but
yeah, maybe the Tron light cycles. I'd like to do those too, just because I'm a huge Tron fan. Yeah. What about you?
Yeah, mine would be maybe I do ship in a bottle if I could figure out how to get it that small. That would be fun. What else? What else would I do? I'm scanning through the ideas sets.
I know. I got some of them back here. I just have to look.
Voltron would be great. Yellow Submarine would be fun as a really. I mean, it's pretty small to begin with.
It's already
if it was really itty bitty, that would be fun.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, maybe those are the ideas. Yeah, I'll leave you with those. Thanks, Lymatic. That was a fun question. Someone's calling me. Who would be calling me during my stream? I don't know who this is. If you get to see Boone in person, how would you write the story? What? If you get to see Boone in person, how would you write the story?
It would have to be a noir crime novel. It would have to be.
Oh, okay. I get it. You had a great
first person narrative, something about our beards met around a corner. I don't know. Something. It was dark. There was smoke, you know.
Nice. I love it. You just did a little, character there. Do you do characters? Are you a
in another, like I took theater in college, theater and musical theater, and in another life I would have loved to have done, and I kind of tried to break into this, but doing voice acting, which turns out is just acting.
Right.
So you just got to find an agent. You got to find somebody to hire you. You got to make a tape. You got to go through the same processes just like any other audition. So
yeah, I did all that too. I mean, I didn't do it all, but I spent a chunk of my adult life trying to get to a place where I could do it, and I never did.
Yeah, same.
I have a great deal of fun doing that stuff, but it's such a saturated.
Now I just annoy my fiance with voices. That's all I do with it.
Yeah. A couple of people have asked if you have done. I know more than one person has asked this. Have you participated in Shiptember before?
Not knowingly. I've built a lot of ships. I've built, probably a ship every couple of years since Star Wars days. So for the last 20 years, I've probably built 10 or 15 ships, right? But this was the first time somebody said, hey, Shiptember. And I'm like, what? And I looked it up, and it's a bunch of shipping characters together in an anime series. I'm like, no, I'm not going to do that. They're like, no, you got to build a ship, because I knew what a ship was. And I'm like, yes, I know what the acronym means. Never done one on purpose to do anything. And apparently it's a big thing, I guess, is it Emerald City Con that they have like the big actual contest for it someplace? There's rules. You have to hold it up by one hand. It's got to be a good shot. I just build a spaceship.
Yeah.
So this is the first one I've knowingly done purposely because of it.
I don't know where is the physical place that event that has that, but I think it's just kind of a big Flickr thing, right?
Yeah, and I stopped kind of I had a Flickr account. I just don't know. I just don't use it anymore. I use Instagram and Google Photos. That's about it.
Cool. All right. Brayden says, what is the rarest Lego set you've ever owned?
That is a good question. I generally don't. I still have my UCS X-Wing built. I have like the early UCS Star Wars sets, like the TIE Interceptor and the Tantive 4. But in terms of rarity, that I don't know that I got a really old like the Yellow Castle. I don't have that one. I don't have anything pre like 74, 73, something like that.
I'm just gonna grab mine, but I have to take my headphones off.
I'll keep the folks entertained by doing absolutely nothing. You poor schlubs. All you have to do is listen to me talk while we look at the plaid shirted wonder grab the Lego set.
You should be the host of this show. I think this is the rarest set that I've ever owned, and it's still in my possession. This is Ole Kirk's house. I think this was an employee Christmas gift in 2012.
Okay.
I don't know how many of these were made, but I think it's fairly rare. I think it's certainly more rare than any production set.
Right.
That's probably, but I don't actually own this anymore. I sold it, and it was right before COVID, and it was a person that I was intending to see in person right before COVID happened, and then COVID happened, and we have not seen each other face to face since then. So I'm just holding
bummer.
on to it until we get to see each other again.
Until such time. There was actually a set that I wanted to get that was an employee set before they had the Ideas bird sets. Was I forget what that was called even. It wasn't the bird set, but it was called something. And there was 5 birds in that one. And it was in a white box. And I'm sure somebody in the chat may know this. But I believe that was also an employee set. And now you can't get it for less than like $500. But it was one of those where they just kind of handed it out to people who worked there. And then shortly after that, or not shortly, but QSO came out with their bird set. And I was like, that'd be nice to get both of those together. So it was cool.
Yeah. I have a couple of figures. I think probably my rarest figures are Cloud City, Boba Fett, and Barb. I have the Barb that was
the Stranger Things.
Yeah, San Diego Comic-Con exclusive last year, and then I have the Batman Gotham, the Dark Knight Gotham set, which was also a San Diego Comic-Con exclusive last year. Those are probably my most valuable sets, but or rarest, I think was the question. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, cool. Hey, well, what do you think, Ben? I'm feeling like dinner time. Do you feel like we've done our job here? Have we done our job?
I think so. It's 9:00 here though, so I'm way past dinner time. I'm full. I'm gonna get some water and go play some Battlefront.
Awesome. Well, Ben, I can't tell you how much I appreciate you coming on the stream tonight. And I want all of you to go check out the links in the description that you'll find for Ben's Instagram and YouTube channel. You can also find him on Rebrickable if you want to build some of his Microfighters and other mocks. Thank you so much to our moderators that have been here tonight: Moto, Ben Kahn, Jeff McElwee, Dave Morgan. If I'm missing any of my other moderators, thank you very much. Oh, Holly, great to see you. And the last, I don't know. We'll end with this question from Fazoom. Moto is adopting me?
Yeah, but you got to wear the wolf head like every night.
Oh, Moto sneaks in a $20.
Oh, look at that.
Into the stream. Thank you so much, Moto. I really appreciate you. You've done enough. You shouldn't have, but thank you. I really appreciate that. And Jeff McElwee says, that's a lot of Slurpees. Jeff McElwee always measuring super chats in Slurpees. I got to say hi to Jake Sadovich, the one and only Jake Sadovich. Thank you for joining us this evening. And thank you to any of Ben's friends that came over. Thank you, Aqua Mike. Thank you, Synthetic Mason. Thank you, Holly. Thank you, Fazoom. Thank you, everyone else who has been here. And until next time, go. I should plug my Ideas Project one more time, but the thing is, what is this?
No, that's it. Everybody close it. Everybody close it. No, I'm just kidding.
School bus. We'll do this. This thing is not going. I should just say goodbye. There it is.
Woo!
Hop on the Magic School Bus. Hey, we've made a little progress since the beginning of this stream.
Yeah, look at that.
Go to Lego Ideas and search for the Magic School Bus, please, and support it. I need all of your friends and all of your family members. Get your mom, get your dad, get your aunt, get your uncle, get your niece, get your cousin. Get them all to vote, please, for the Magic School Bus. And, I just can't end this stream. Ben, will you ever submit to Lego Ideas again?
If I come up with a proper 80s property that will be picked up by the masses, I might.
Oh, hey, speaking of 80s and micro builds, I've got something I might like to invite you into for December.
Okay.
So we won't talk about it here, but let's get a message and we'll see if we can make it happen.
You got it.
Thanks a lot, Ben. Thanks, everybody. This has been AFOL Spotlight Live.
Let's go! Climb aboard this proverbial Winnebago. We're talking about the awesome fans of Lego. So build your mock and shift it into drive.